You want to know what transgenderism is all about? I've got a clip for you right here. This is a clip that's just going around of the new owner of the Miss Universe contest. This is what transgenderism is all about.
Welcome to the Miss Universe organization. From now on, it's gonna be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women really around the world to celebrate the power of feminism. Diverse cultures, social inclusion, gender equality, creativity, the force for good, and of course, the beauty of humanity.
So, do you think you need a study to know that something is wrong about that? That person is Jakafong Jakrajujatip. I'm probably mispronouncing that name. He goes by Anne. He used to go by Andrew. He is the current owner of Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA beauty pageant organizations. And he is a fella who has had some surgery to make him look more like a woman. And he says that the contest is now run by women. And I don't think he's really fooling anybody. The clip is going viral specifically because he's not fooling anybody. He's not fooling the conservatives. He's not fooling the feminists. It's very offensive to women, I think, to say, hey, ladies, yeah, us gals, you know, we're here. We're finally running Miss Teen USA and Miss Universe and all the rest of it. Isn't that girl power, huh? The women are thinking, this is not, I think I'm kind of being had here. I don't think that the women are actually running these pageants yet. Right, of course not. But everybody looks at that, we say, okay, we know that something's wrong with that. I urge people always to cultivate a conservative insight. It's one that Russell Kirk talks about a lot. It's one that Edmund Burke, one of the founders of modern conservatism, talked about a lot. And that is, trust your prejudices most of the time. Not all of the time. You can have unjust prejudices, and that can be a bad thing. But most of the time, your prejudices are going to be correct because your prejudices are prejudgments. And prejudgments are the way that we have to operate in the world, because for every decision that we make countless decisions all the time. Where we're going to walk, what we're going to wear, who we're going to talk to, what we're going to say, what we're going to drink, what we're going to sit down and do. What's going to distract our attention? Will we answer the phone? We make these decisions all the time, and we don't write 50-page long treatises of perfectly rational explanations as to why we make those decisions or why we feel a certain way about certain things. We couldn't do that. We wouldn't be able to operate in the world if we did that. And so we've got to rely on our gut. We've got to rely on our instinct. We've got to rely on just prejudices, which is to say the inherited wisdom that we have from our tradition. You might not be able to articulate precisely why it is wrong that a dude who's had a bunch of weird surgeries and is wearing stilettos is prancing around on stage calling himself a woman and taking over Miss Universe in the name of women. You might not be able to articulate in the perfect rational way why it's wrong for a man to go into a girl's bathroom. I think given enough time you probably could, but you might not be able to right on the spot. That's okay. You still know it's wrong, and you know it's wrong because of something that Leon Kass, the great bioethicist, referred to as the wisdom of repugnance. You know that that's wrong. It's okay to know that. You don't need some scientist to give you permission to know the things that you already know. The scientists are wrong most of the time anyway. Speaking of the weird trans stuff, there is a young teenager, really sad story, California teenager who was exposed to some naked man at the YMCA while she was getting changed. This is Rebecca Phillips, just 17 years old. She explained this disgusting situation during public comments at the January 11th Santee City Council meeting.
My name is Rebecca Phillips, and I'm 17 years old. I am not a resident of Santee, but I am employed at a local restaurant, the Omelet Factory, and I work out regularly at the Santee YMCA. Just 2 weeks ago, after finishing my shift at my job, I went to the gym to swim laps. As I was showering after my workout, I saw a naked male in the women's locker room. I immediately went back into the shower, terrified, and hid behind their flimsy excuse for a curtain until he was gone. I ran into a bathroom stall to change as quickly as I could, organizing my thoughts to share with the people at the front desk. When I asked the YMCA management what their policy was regarding transgenders, they confirmed that the man that I saw was indeed allowed to shower wherever he pleased. As long as you are not a red flag on Megan's Law, the California Sex Offender Registry, a grown male can shower alongside a teenage girl at your YMCA location here in Santee. I was made to feel as though I had done something wrong when I talked to people at the YMCA.
An absurd story. Obviously, this teenage girl should not be made to shower with naked dudes because those dudes happen to have some sexual perversion that makes them derive pleasure out of pretending to be a woman and stripping down in front of little girls. Obviously, that is the case. And she says, I was made to feel wrong about my natural feelings of disgust and fear at seeing some dude strip down naked in the girls' room. I was made to feel wrong, like that's bigoted, like that's prejudiced. Obviously, that's not wrong. Obviously, she's right. She, this girl, with her natural prejudices, is right. And most of the scientific establishment today that pushes this woke PC line of transgenderism in all their lab coats with all their microscopes, they're completely wrong, like they are wrong a lot of the time. Like they were wrong about what they told us about COVID and the vaccines and lobotomies and leaching and so many of the other wacky scientific theories that have come up over time. So the girl, 100% right. Not her fault at all. Now I have I think a deeper reaction to this that I haven't heard anyone else bring up, and it's probably going to be controversial, and Media Matters is probably clipping this out right now, but I don't care, because I think actually the fact that nobody is talking about this is why conservatives so frequently lose in the culture. Why do women go to the YMCA? It's the YMCA. What's that? The Young Men's Christian Association. Why do women go there now? There used to be something like the YWCA, Young Women's Associations. There were gyms for women. There were all sorts of things for women. Why is it now that everything has to be totally mixed? I'm not saying it's this girl's fault. Why did this girl go to the YMCA? No, she was invited to the YMCA. She's probably a member at the YMCA. I'm asking, why does the YMCA admit women? And why does our culture want women to go to the YMCA? Why can't there be separate spaces in certain fields for men and for women? Well, because increasingly we're told that men and women are not different, they're not complementary, they're interchangeable. And it's not just the libs who believe that. The libs are the ones who pushed it. But many conservatives have accepted that as the truth. And what conservatives do is we always just fight the craziest, newest symptom of a cultural error that goes much, much deeper. So what you'll hear conservatives say is, well, listen, I don't care about what weird sex stuff you all do, and I don't care about gay marriage, I don't care about feminism, I don't care about this, that, and the other thing. Everybody can do whatever they want. And I don't care if a man wants to put on a dress and get his body chopped up by a doctor if he's over 18. I don't care about any of that. But don't do it with the kids. Yeah, I don't care if you go in and read a bunch of stories in a crazy sexualized outfit as part of Drag Queen Story Hour to fifth graders, but don't do it to third graders. That was actually the argument in Florida. When Florida, which, good on Florida, they went out and they banned this kind of weird grooming, trans education stuff in elementary schools. They only did it from pre-K through the third grade. In fact, one of the jokey ways to refer to the bill was the wait till 8 bill. And then starting at 9 years old, then you can be exposed to all this kind of transgender propaganda. Just don't do it to the 8-year-olds. Okay, well, maybe to the 8-year-olds, but don't do it to the 5-year-olds. Okay, fine. Well, don't trans the 2-year-olds. And we just keep retreating. But transgenderism is the natural consequence of this fundamental error that men and women are interchangeable. And that's an error that goes back not just to gay marriage. That's an error that goes back not just to the gay rights movement of the 1990s. That's an error that goes back, at the very least, to feminism. Because all of these movements take part of the same faulty premise. Feminism says a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Men and women are exactly the same. The only difference is that our bodies look a little bit different, and even then, that's not a big deal. Well, okay, if that's true, then obviously you're going to have the normalization of homosexual relations. If a man and a woman is the same thing as a man and a man, the same thing as a woman and as a woman, then it's all the same. And if you're going to do that, then you have to redefine marriage. And if you're going to do that, if a man and a woman are exactly the same, then why the hell can't that guy shower in the locker room with a 17-year-old girl? Why not? Men and women are exactly the same. Oh, okay, you're willing to admit finally that men and women are not exactly the same. Well, then how far back are you going to take that? Are you going to take that back to men and women have different roles within a marriage? That marriage, therefore, has a special meaning and that sexual difference is at the heart of that? That men and women have different roles within a political community and within society? Are you willing to say that? Even many conservatives probably would not want to do that because it's not just the libs. One problem is conservatives are very often just fighting for the liberal position 5 years ago. And that's why we keep losing. Head on over, become a member right now. Use code Knowles, KNWLES, dailywire.com/Knowles. Use code Knowles at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans.